Good evening. It is now 6 p.m. on Monday, July 27th, 2026. It's time to call this regular board meeting of the San Felipe Del Rio CISD Board of Trustees to order. This meeting has been duly posted in accordance with Texas Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551. At this time, we'll have roll call. Mr. Secretary.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Mrs. Becky Chavez.
Present.
Mr. Brian Weston.
Here.
Show myself present. Mr. Joshua Overfeld.
Present.
Mr. Jesus Emilio Galindo.
Present.
Mrs. Haynes.
Here.
Mrs. Linda Guanajuato-Webb.
Present.
Sir, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Quorum has been established at this time. We'll begin with opening ceremonies. First with a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would please stand. Thank you. Now the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First on the agenda, we have item 5, citizens to be heard. I have 2 requests that have been submitted. The Board of Trustees encourages open dialogue with the community. But as a reminder, the board will listen but will not respond to any questions that may be asked of it during citizens' comments. First, I have Terry Carcasey, who will be, the topic is introduction of the ATPE 26-27 officers. Everyone will have 3 minutes per policy. Okay, ma'am?
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you all for your service to our community, to our students, and to the teachers and everybody that works at San Felipe Del Rio. Congratulations to those of you that just recently got elected onto the school board. My name is Terry Carcasey. I am the new president of the Association of Texas Professional Educators. ATPE has been around since 1980. Mr. Jose Delgado was the past president. He'd been with the association for about 17 to 18 years. So we'd like to thank him for his service as a leader here in Del Rio. Currently, we have about 230 members. It's not just teachers, it's custodians, it's bus drivers. Anybody that works for the district is able to be a part of ATPE. And right now, I'd like to introduce to you our vice president.
Hello, everyone. My name is Crystal Tanguma. I'm the vice president for our local ATPE chapter. I look forward to working with everyone in the school board to better serve our teachers and staff and really make some positive changes.
So Crystal is our vice president. Our secretary is Dr. Alana Talamantes. Our treasurer is Maria Ortega. Membership chairperson is Veronica Dominguez. And we will be serving for a term of a year, hopefully not get reelected and bring in some new blood. But we just want to take this time today so that you could put a face with the group, and hopefully we will have positive communication and work well together in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next individual I have signed up for citizens' comment is Mr. Raymond Mesa. Topic is trustees' oath of office. Mr. Mesa.
Thank you so much. Once again, good to see all of you. I want to make it short, not sweet. For some of you, you took the oath of office. Once elected, all board members have to take the oath of office. And sometimes you're nervous, you don't remember what you said, but I'm going to repeat some of the words I did not promise public office or employment or compensation or services to any individual. Not too long ago, you gave employment to an individual outside of this organization. This new employee went from a new hire straight to the cabinet. You dealt a terrible blow to the morale of all staff, especially the aspiring administrators that have proven themselves year in and year out. This person now is every recommendation that they make or cabinet makes affects each and every one of those administrators. This person has never walked in those shoes. Not a principal, not an administrator. If TEA were to investigate, he would find two violations: violation of the oath of office and micromanaging. And if your intention is to elevate this individual to even a higher position, you need to really think twice. It would take about 10 years. Assistant principal, elementary principal, some of them are both elementary, secondary, get their doctorate degree, get experience in a 2A, 3A district, and contingent upon making the A through F rating system. So I'm here today to, not a mystery, I am going to request a formal investigation from TEA for violating the oath of office and also micromanaging this district. I thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Move on to item 8, reports, facilities and construction updates. Mr. Hector Chapa.
Good evening, President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, members of the board. Tonight's presentation includes updates on the following projects: the district-wide roofing project, the San Felipe Memorial Middle School gym floor replacement, the Lamar Elementary playground canopy and equipment replacement, as well as the Del Rio High School guard shack and gates. Currently, the contractor is working at CTE. Out of 4 areas that bituminous modified roof is placed, 3 are complete, and the 4th one is they started the cap, which is the final layer, this week. After finishing that area, which is the front part of the building where the offices and some of the classrooms are located, they'll proceed to replace the metal roofing over the mechanic shop and the welding shop. The gym renovation, the flooring has been replaced and completed. Pending is covering the insulation that's exposed above the ends of the gable ends, as well as along the sides of the, above the bleachers and the opposite side. That portion will be taken care of by staff. And the gold replacement, vendor was here today to verify dimensions, and within 4 weeks or so, we'll have a shipping date for the materials to arrive, and it'll take approximately a week for installation after that. So that puts us around early part of September to be completed. The Lamar Elementary received the canopy photo on the left. That was on the exposed playground that's located on the south east corner of the property. And the playground along Bean Street was completely replaced. It had some features that were broken, and that was removed completely, and a new playground set was placed.
Just 1 second, Mr. Chapa. Dr. Rios.
Well, just because we have all the other principals here, and I want to make sure that they know that Lamar was next on the list. We placed a playground there last year, and then we couldn't cover it up. And just so that everybody knows, Calderon is next. Okay, and so we have a list, and in time, hopefully, we can replace and upgrade all of the playgrounds. But there's just a list, okay? So we ask that you be patient, and Calderon, you're next. Thank you, sir.
Lastly, the guardhouse or guard shack at Del Rio High School. The shack is located between the driveways, the south driveway for staff and the north driveway for student parking. The gates are scheduled to be installed starting next week. The vendor will be here Wednesday to install a portion of fence at Del Rio Middle School and the staff parking area. And they're supposed to be completed by Friday, and they'll proceed to the gate installation next week.
Mr. Almaraz?
Are those, just out of curiosity, are the gates sliding or are they?
Yes, sir. They're sliding gates, and they're going to be electronic gates, so they're basically identical to the ones at CTE.
Cool.
So just since he mentioned it, our hope, and Mr. Salinas is here, our hope is that we very quickly install a badge reader so that the same badge that opens up the building will open up the gate so that teachers no longer have to exit the vehicle. And so it should be, it won't be a fob, it'll just be their ID. Cool.
There'll be one on the students and the teacher parking lot?
Yes, sir, but the students will not have badge reader for them.
It won't be it'll be electric?
It'll be electric, and the security monitor can control it either from the guard shack or manually if need be.
And there'll still be a manual gate at the other end?
Yes,
At
sir.
the south end?
Yes, sir.
Ground loops and all that to get out? Or-
Yes, sir. On the approach, on the exit, yes, ground loops.
Just thinking of all the times we come back late.
Okay, proceeding to the work orders. For the maintenance department, the previous 90 days, 1,096 work orders were created, 736 were closed, closure of 67%. On 0 to 15 days, 97 were created, 51 were closed, or a percentage rate of 53. 16 to 30 days, 267 were created, 136 were closed, closure rate of 51%. 31 to 60 days, 312 were created, 229 were closed, closure rate of 73%. 61 to 90 days, 420 were created, 320 were closed for a closure rate of 76%. Technology department, the previous 90 days, 2,792 work orders were created, 248 were closed, a closure rate of 88%. The 0 to 15 days, 302 were created, 246 were closed, 81%. 16 to 30 days, 441 created, 371 were closed, 84%. 31 to 60 days, 1,092 were created, 913 were closed, 84%. And 61 to 90 days, 957 were created, 918 were closed, closure rate of 96%. Transportation Department, the previous 90 days, 188 tickets were created, 173 were closed, closure rate of 92%. On 0 to 15 days, 19 were created, 14 were closed, 74%. 16 to 30 days, 30 were created, 27 were closed for 90%. 31 to 60 days, 67 were created, 61 were closed, 91%. And 61 to 90 days, 72 were created, 71 were closed for a closure rate of 99%. Any questions?
Any questions from the board? Dr. Rios?
Just a comment, because I know that the work orders from the maintenance department is a little low, but as is the case every summer, we take on big projects, and that is labor intensive, but at this point, we're just about done, and then the staff can quickly turn again to catch up on the work orders. So our apologies, but we should be able to move quicker now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we move on to item 9, consent agenda, but administration would like to move item 13G up before consent, because we have some individuals from out of town who are presenting, and we'd like to get them on the way before it gets much later in the evening. So if y'all are fine with that, that'd be 13, which is business and finance. Right, that's the correct one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. 13G, consideration and approval of an order authorizing the issuance of San Felipe Del Rio CISD Unlimited Tax Refunding Bonds, Series 2026, entering into a purchase and investment letter, escrow agreement, and a paying agent registrar agreement and other matters related thereto. Mr. Gilbert Sanchez.
Good evening, President Overfield, Dr. Rios, members of the board. Our financial advisors have identified an opportunity to refund bonds and pay a portion of the district's outstanding debt. There was an update to the order as of today incorporating the final pricing. Are you able to hear me? So there was an update to the order as of today incorporating the final pricing. At this time, I would like to defer to our financial advisors from PFM, David Gonzalez, and we got bond counsel from Winstead, Daniel Martinez, for further explanation.
Good evening, Mr. Board President, members of the board. For the record, David Gonzalez with PFM, the district's financial advisors. If I think you all should have a presentation, and I also have it up here on the screen, but I think as we've discussed, I know we've had some conversations about this briefly. The refunding that we have before you, the past 3 years, the district has defeased some bonds, which means you've accelerated some principal payments that you currently have as part of your debt profile in anticipation of a potential bond election. Well, the state has come out and kind of changed the rules a little bit and made it a little bit more difficult for districts like San Felipe Del Rio to receive as much state assistance if you defease debt. So what we have before you today is a refinancing of debt, which basically allows you to achieve the same result, which is to maintain your interest and sinking fund tax rate, thus preserving all the state assistance that you receive on specific maturities and specific bonds. So with that kind of backdrop, if I'm going to go ahead and get started, if you all have any questions along the way, feel free to ask any questions for myself or Mr. Martinez, your all's bond lawyer. If you look at slide number 2, this is just a slide that kind of just shows you what's been happening to interest rates going back to 2000. Since, if you look there in 2021, that was, when the best time to basically be in the market. That's when we had, the district could have gone out for a 30-year bond and probably locked in a 2.5 or 2.6 interest rate over 30 years. Currently, a lot of the activities in Iran, the Strait of Hormuz, is driving the 20-year treasury, the 20-year curve, very kind of parabolic and kind of all over the map, for lack of a better term. But the 20-year treasury is at about a 4.4, I believe, right now. Just to give you a little bit of color, we were actually in the market last week with a specific bond. We entered on Thursday. Rates were so high that we actually had to pull the bond down and just wait for another day to come into market because rates were so high. So we are in a high interest rate environment. But the Federal Reserve actually said in September they are planning on raising rates. So this is just to kind of give you a backdrop of what's going on out there in the interest rate environment. If you look at this page, the next slide, slide number 3, this is just the list of the district's outstanding debt. So from the bottom up, you have your 2007 bonds, your 15 bonds, your 16 bonds, you have your 2017 bonds, your 2018 tax notes, and then you have your 2020 unlimited tax school building bonds. The second column from the left, those are the original dollar amounts that were issued. The column to the right of that, principal outstanding, That's the current balance on those specific bonds that were sold during those years. And then the column right next to that is the callable principal. Basically, when we get to a certain call date, we monitor all your debt to see when you can refinance some of your debt for savings. Currently, prior slide, you saw where rates are. It's kind of hard to achieve savings if you're not within kind of a certain part of the yield curve. So this is something that we constantly monitor, and when we see significant savings, that's something that we bring to the school board to consider. This specific bond, it's not necessarily for savings on the refunding bonds, it's for savings of state assistance. It's to preserve all the state assistance that the school district receives, and I'll dive into that a little bit more on the next slide. But this is just a snapshot of your current entire debt profile. As I mentioned, the state has 3 different bills that will take effect, that will become law in September 1, so about a month from now, basically. And you have SB 1453. I'm not going to go through each one of those bullet points, but I'm just going to cover the highlights, and then I'll dive into the one on the far right. But you have SB 1453, and then you have SB 4 and 23. So these are just different bills that are making it more difficult for school districts to basically, within the law, to kind of manage your budgets and manage your debt around bond elections. They're making it, a lot more difficult. So as I mentioned, in the past, the district has done defeasances. Well, these new bills, when they take effect, you will be penalized for doing defeasances. So that is why what we have before you is not a defeasance, it's a refinancing of existing debt, which still allows you to achieve the same goal of keeping your tax rates at 0.1866, which is where it has been the last 3-4 years. So if you look at the column the box on the far right, the impact on San Felipe Del Rio CISD when these new laws take effect, September 1, you're looking at the INS tax rate. Any INS tax rate set above minimum will reduce Asahi funds, which is state assistance for facilities received. The next bullet point, district must review current INS tax rate to ensure it does not exceed the new minimum threshold. And then the third one is Asahi for facility funds, now legally restricted to bond debt payments only, which is what we're achieving by refinancing your bonds and not accelerating payments. So currently right now, hundreds of school districts across the state who are preparing for a May 2027 bond election are doing the exact same thing that San Felipe is considering doing today, which is refinancing some of your debt to maintain tax rates where they are in anticipation of a successful bond election in May. So this is all just a workaround. We're all just reacting to what's coming down from the state at this point. If there's no questions here, I'm going to jump over to the next one. Why are we doing this? Well, we basically just cover that. It's not about necessarily saving on refunding bonds. The district currently receives state assistance from 3 different pools of money from Austin. You have your IFA, which is your instructional facilities allotment. You have your EDA, which is your existing debt allotment, and then you have your Asahi funds, which is another hold harmless state assistance. So by doing this refund, by considering this refunding, you will continue to still receive all that state assistance. If the district were to do a defeasance like it's done previously, you would lose a lot of that state assistance. And it's in the tune of about $800,000 over 6 years that you would lose by doing it the old way. By considering doing it a refunding bond, and we'll show you the numbers today, you're preserving that $800,000 that you're gonna be receiving over the next 6 years for state assistance. So again, it's a refinancing, but it's more for preserving what comes from the state as opposed to saving on the refunding bonds. If there's no questions here, I'm going to jump over to the next slide. So here's, as a result, we went out to banks about 2-3 weeks ago. We prepared a term sheet. We sent it out to about 30 banks or so. We received one bid today from PNC, which is a national bank out of Pittsburgh, and they came in at a 4%. If you remember that first slide where it showed you kind of the market rates, currently a 20-year treasury right now is at about a 4.4. So it's actually not a bad rate, just given where we are in the yield curve and what's going on with the 10-year treasury. So starting from the left down, the key attributes today, we have a delivery date of August 20th. That would be the date that we would close on the bonds. The pricing date is today, July 27th. That's the date that we have all the numbers and everything for consideration for the board. And then you have the true interest cost of 4%. If you look at the savings summary, we're looking at refunding $2,295,000. The amount of the refunded bonds is $2,320,000. The average coupon is 4%. Now, the net present value savings, which takes into account the future value of a dollar in 2034 and the value today, it discounts future dollars today. You have a net present value savings of negative $73,000. You have a percentage savings of negative 3.15%, but you have a gross positive savings over the next 6 years of $252,975. So if you jump over to the right and you look at the box on the top right, this is kind of how this works. So you have your second column there, you have your prior debt service, 2.692600. We're refunding $2,339,625. So the savings on that is $252,975, and then the present value, which discounts the future value of a dollar, which is a different formula, you're looking at negative $73,817. So the aggregate, the raw savings to the district is $252,975. If there's no questions on this specific page, I'm going to jump over to the next one.
Before we
Yes.
get there, does anyone, I'll start on this side and just see if there's any questions before we move on, because it's a lot of numbers and info being thrown around. Ms. Chavez, anything as of right now?
As you know, I had a lot of questions.
Yes.
And, but I want to thank you. You answered them all. It's this numbers, everything, it is overwhelming and a lot, but
Right.
I think the questions that I had, you answered them to the understanding that there's a lot to learn about
Sure.
refinancing on a school bond. But you answered my questions, so as of now, I think I'm okay
Okay.
Thank you.
on everything.
Mr. Weston, anything up to this point?
Yeah, same with me. I think got everything cleared up earlier. Appreciate it.
Mr. Amados?
So the gross savings, just, for everybody tuning in, and so the gross savings, that's not what we're after. Obviously, we're after the $800,000 we're still going to continue receiving in state funding, which is the
Exactly.
purpose of this refinance. Typically, we refinance a home or a car to save money, but in this instance, it's so we can receive state funding, continuous state funding, correct?
That's exactly right. By doing it this route and issuing refunding bonds, as opposed to doing it the way the district's done it, or the way all districts have done it in the past, which is what you call a defeasance, where all you do is accelerate principal. By doing it this way, you preserve the current state assistance levels that comes out of Austin through IFA, EDA, and Asahi funds. If you were to do it the other way, you would lose over $800,000 over the next 5 or 6 years.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Galindo? Nothing right now. Ms. Haynes?
No, we met earlier. I appreciate it.
Ms. Webb? Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Okay. And on the next slide, which I believe is the final slide, we have the top there, we have the winning bid, PNC at 4%. And again, this is a fixed rate. It's not a variable rate or a revolving rate. It's just a fixed 4%. And to be even more clear, this refunding bond matures, means it comes due in February. So this is only out for 7 or 8 months, and then this debt is paid off, right? So it's not something that's on the books forever, and it's not something that you're extending the debt. It's a short term. We're doing this in order to maintain the same tax rates in anticipation of a May 2027 bond election. So you have the par amount of $2,295,000, the issuer's contribution of $100,000, state aid preserved from 2028 to 2032. We're looking right now at about $800,000 by refinancing your debt as opposed to defeasing and accelerating principal. The bond election target we have here, May 2027, that's the reason that we're doing this. And then you have your gross savings of $252,975. I know it's a lot of information. I know it's a lot of moving parts. Trust me, everybody across the state is reacting exactly the same way because all these laws take effect September 1. So everybody's scrambling to finalize these numbers, adopt these numbers for the budget so that you can maintain tax rates in anticipation of a May election cycle. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I know it's a lot of material, but Dan and I are here for anything. If you have any legal questions or anything else, Dan can also help with that. So whatever y'all have, don't hesitate.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all putting in the work, along with on our financial side of the district, going in and putting in the work to bring this to us and finding ways to save money and also ensure revenue streams from the state, because they continue to move the goalpost all the time on school districts. So we appreciate that. Does anyone have any final question? Mr. Galindo?
Mr. Gonzalez, if you can just, on the issuer's contribution, does that come out now from the district, or is that over time in the savings as the bonds get?
Very good question. So that comes out at closing, which we have scheduled for August 20th. That comes out of the district's debt service fund.
Okay.
And that basically helps us achieve a certain requirement that we need to meet under state law. So the district has to put in $100,000 issuer's contribution so that we can meet some Attorney General requirements. And that basically allows us to preserve the $800,000 over the next 5 or 6 years.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez.
Dr. Rios, any comments before? Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Chavez?
Yes, I'm just for my self-satisfaction, and I think I kind of asked it in closed session that we had, but the 100,000, there's no way it can be upped or, changed in any fashion.
Yeah, no, that's all that's required at this point in order for us to achieve what we call a par-to-par test, which is a requirement with the Attorney General's office when you refinance bonds. So if you were to contribute more than 100,000, it wouldn't do you any good.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
of course.
Dr. Rios?
Mr. Overfield, members of the board, just want to reassure everyone that the money that we're using to pay the issuer's contribution is money that we have in our fund balance for the INS tax rate. We're not having to take anything that would be used for school supplies or anything else. It's money that's specifically allocated to pay debt service.
Correct.
That was it, Mr. Overfield.
Appreciate that clarification. Thank y'all. We appreciate y'all
course.
presenting
Thank
this,
you all.
and be careful on the way back.
Thank you.
So for item 13G, which we just heard, if there are no more questions or recommendations, sir?
Yes, sir. It is a recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the order authorizing the issuance of unlimited tax refunding bonds, Series 2026, entering into a purchase and investment letter and escrow agreement, and a paying agent registrar agreement and other matters related thereto.
Thank you, sir. For the recommendation, is there a motion to approve? Mr. Almaraz, and a second. Ms. Webb, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We come back to item 9, the consent agenda. The consent agenda goes in and contains a couple minutes from some different meetings, the June 15th and June 29th public hearings, and regular school board meetings and the special call meeting. And there are also all the donations that are listed there, and we published those earlier today. Thank you to the community, as always, for your donations and help within our district. And then there's some items in there for different purchase orders. So if anybody has any questions on any of those items, now would be the time to ask that for either just some clarification or pulling for a separate vote. And so if y'all look that over and then let me know. Okay. Anyone have anything? No? One motion will approve everything on the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Mr. Galindo, second by Ms. Haynes. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. And again, thank you to everyone in the community who has donated recently. Next up, we go to item 10, administration. A, consideration to approve the delegate and alternate for the 2026 TASB Delegate Assembly. As y'all know, every year is the TASB Conference, and it is the time when districts get to have delegates that vote on their behalf for different issues that TASB will put forth to the legislature and our elected officials in Austin. Just last evening in the board update, there was an item requesting if anyone wanted to be a delegate or an alternate to reach out. I know Ms. Chavez reached out to me and she expressed interest in being a delegate, and will gladly accept her volunteering for that. So really all I need is anyone who might want to be an alternate. If you've never been, there is a day during the TASB conference where the delegates will meet with the Region 15 representative to go in and caucus, and then about an hour later, they will meet in one of the rooms where the main event goes in and happen, and all the voting. Delegate votes, the alternate is there in case the delegate cannot go in and serve in that capacity. Is there anyone that would like to volunteer up to be the alternate before we get into the voluntold side of it?
Why is everybody?
I know, right? I think almost everybody on here has served as delegate in one capacity, or as a delegate or an alternate at some point. There's Thank you, Mr. Weston. That's awesome. So.
Thought I'd get a little more experience before I did that, but whatever y'all think.
No, it's a good learning experience, especially to learn how on the TASB side of it operates and stuff like that. It's good. So at this time, I'd like to nominate Ms. Becky Chavez as our delegate and Mr. Brian Weston as our alternate. Is there a second? Mr. Galindo, any other discussion? No, awesome. And what will happen is here in a month or so, we'll get a delegate and alternate packet that I'll give to y'all for that event. So we have a first and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions?
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Unanimous. Thank you. 10B, consideration to improve the endorsement of either San Angelo ISD Board of Trustee Vice President Amy Mizzle-Flint or Brownwood ISD Trustee Tim E. Wilson to fill the Region 15 representative position on the TASB Board of Directors. Mr. Garabedian presenting.
Good evening, Board President Overfeld, Dr. Rios, members of the Board of Trustees. Agenda item 10B under administration, which you find in your packet on page 186, is the item you refer to. The duties of the Texas Association of School Boards Director is to represent his or her region on the TASB Board of Directors and direct affairs of TASB in accordance with the Articles of Incorporation, bylaws, and advocacy agenda. The TASB Director Representative also ensures that the association fulfills its mission to provide visionary leadership and advocate for high-quality services to its members. Ms. Amy Mizzle-Flint is currently the San Angelo ISD Vice President, and she's served as a trustee for 13 years. And she's respectfully asking for the San Felipe Del Rio CISD Board of Trustees to endorse her candidacy for the position of TASB Board of Directors, Region 15 Representative. Mr. Tim E. Wilson has served on the Brownwood ISD Board of Trustees for 12 years, and he's humbly asking that the San Felipe Del Rio CISD Board of Trustees endorse his candidacy for the position of the TASB Board of Directors, Region 15 Representative. I believe Dr. Rios provided those in your board update. Ms. Mizzle-Flint provided that information with her letter a couple of weeks back. She was the first to ask for your endorsement. Mr. Wilson, about a week ago, provided a letter, and I believe that was in your board update a week ago, and he's asking for your endorsement.
Thank you, sir. We have, as Mr. Garabedian mentioned, we have, the board's been provided the information on both individuals. It has been sent through different updates. So if no one has a recommendation, I'll gladly make one. Mr. Galeno? Oh.
I had one, but.
Okay. I'd like to recommend to the board Amy Mizzle-Flint from San Angelo ISD to be put on to be nominated to fill the position on TASB Board of Directors for Region 15.
I second that. I was good.
Okay. We have a second. Any other discussion? Okay. So that'll be our recommendation, Mr. Irving. So I don't know if you need to read that as recommendation or if you want us to take the vote on that there.
As it pleases the board, there is a recommendation on the memo, but
Okay.
I believe the board, with that motion, Dr. Rios, is.
They need to take a vote, so if we can just read the recommendation on the memo. If you don't have it in front of me, I can read it from here. Yeah, go ahead.
Ready for the recommendation, Mr. Overfeld?
Yes, sir.
It's the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees consider approving the endorsement of either San Angelo ISD Board Vice President Amy Mizzle-Flint's candidacy to fill the Region 15 representative position on the TASB Board of Directors, or the Brownwood ISD Trustee Tim E. Wilson's candidacy to fill the Region 15 representative position on the TASB Board of Directors.
I'm sorry, we have to be specific. Okay?
Just
We have to be
Ms. Elfman.
specific and not include Mr. Tim Wilson.
So just Ms. Flynn.
Yeah, so read it again, please, but without Mr. Tim Wilson.
It is a recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the endorsement of San Angelo ISD Board Vice President Amy Mizzle-Flint's candidacy to fill the Region 15 representative position on the TASB Board of Directors.
Thank you. We've heard the recommendation. I have a motion to approve. Mr. Galindo has seconded. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Takes us to item C, 10C, consideration to approve the adoption of the 2026-2027 Student Code of Conduct. Mr. Charles Garabedian presenting.
Good evening again, Board President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, members of the Board of Trustees. So agenda item 10C, you'll find on page 192 in your packet. The Student Code of Conduct, as required by Chapter 37 of the Texas Education Code, provides methods and options for managing student behavior, preventing and intervening in student discipline problems, and imposing discipline. Law requires the district to define misconduct that may or must result in a range of specific disciplinary consequences, including removal from a regular classroom or campus, out-of-school suspension, placement in a disciplinary alternative education program, placement in juvenile alternative education program, or expulsion from school. And since the Student Code of Conduct is adopted by the district's Board of Trustees, it has the force of policy and shall stand as an authoritative document on its own and remains in effect throughout the school year, during all school-related events, both in town and out of town, as well as during school-related activities in the summer. And the 26-27 Student Code of Conduct has no new updates and does remain aligned with the most recent laws passed by the 89th Texas Legislature.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions on the Code of Conduct? As was mentioned just now, there are no substantive changes from last year's Code of Conduct. We're just pretty much rolling over the language and changing some dates on it. Recommendation, sir?
It is a recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the adoption of the 26-27 San Felipe Del Rio CISD Student Code of Conduct as presented.
Heard the recommendation. I so move. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Haynes, seconded. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. That takes us to item 10D, consideration to approve the reappointment of the District School Safety and Security Committee in compliance with Texas Education Code 37.109, ensuring all required members are included, including at least one administrator of special education in the district. Chief Foz presenting.
Good evening, President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, members of the board. The Texas Education Code 37.109 requires districts to have a safety and security committee, and it requires that that committee contain a specific order and number of participants. From the list, you can see that requires to have board members, superintendent of schools, the chief of police, designees from the superintendent that include teachers, parent representatives, local law enforcement, emergency management officials, and other designees from the superintendent. This year, there's a new requirement that under the superintendent designee, the new requirement requires that a special education administrator be included in the safety committee. Currently, these are the safety committee members as we have them listed as of today. Joshua Overfelt, Jesse Galindo, Rebecca Chavez, and Linda Webb. They represent the Board of Trustees. For district administration, it's Dr. Carlos Rios, Jose Faz as the Chief of Police. The superintendent's designees, the teacher requirements, Brenda Campos, who represents the elementary teachers, and Rogelio Dominguez, who represents the secondary teachers. The new addition that will be requested is Monica Luna, who will be the designee for the administrator of special education. The parent representatives, these will be new parents that will be adding to the list, Gabriel Vega, Marisela Chase, and Selena Andrade. And for the public safety and emergency management partners, Joe Frank Martinez, Gina Garcia, Frank Ramirez, Robert Guzman, Van Savannah, and Amanda Alco. Any questions?
Awesome. Thank you, Chief, for bringing this and bringing it up to be in compliance there with the new portion of the law. Because there will be 4 board members serving on it, it is possible that a quorum could exist. Just a reminder that we do need to make sure that we post the agenda within the required time limit for when those come up, so the fall and the spring one, or any special ones that might be called, just so we're in compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions by individuals? No. Recommendation, sir?
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the reappointment of the District School Safety and Security Committee in compliance with Texas Education Code 37.109 and allow the superintendent to ensure that the committee memberships include all required members, including at least 1 administrator of special education in the district.
For the recommendation, is there a motion to approve? Ms. Webb, seconded by Ms. Chavez. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Brings us to item 11, curriculum and instruction. A, consideration to approve submission of application for the 26-27 Nita M. Lowry 21st Century Community Learning Center Cycle 12, Year 4 continuation application for federal funding to the appropriate headquarter authority. Ms. Jane Varial presenting.
Good afternoon, Board President Overfeld, Dr. Rios, members of the board. San Felipe Del Rio CISD is in its 4th year of implementation of the 21st Century ACE grant. That's the After School Centers on Education. Students enrolled at Dr. Lonnie Green, Dr. Fermin Calderon, Ruben Chavita Elementary, Lamar, and each of the 3 middle schools, Garfield, Del Rio, and San Felipe Memorial Middle Schools, are eligible to participate in this after-school and summer program. This program offers a safe, supervised environment for interventions for academics, along with enrichment activities and social, emotional development activities for students and families who are involved or enrolled. We are asking for a total of $1,771,768. The program operates a total of 155 days, 5 days out of the week, and of course the student must attend at least 60 days to count as a participant. This year, we're proud to announce that we just not only met our goals, but surpassed our goals by 186 students for a total of 1,090. So great job. Again, we are asking for a total grant amount of $1,771,768. Any questions?
Any questions from the board on this application? Recommendation, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the submittal of the 21st Century Community Learning Center Cycle 12, Year 4 continuation application in the amount of $1,771,768 for the funding of federal programs to the appropriated headquarter authority for the 26-27 school year as presented.
Thank you. You've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to approve? Mr. Galindo, followed by Ms. Haynes. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
11B, consideration to approve the adjunct faculty agreement and resolution regarding extracurricular status of 4-H organization. Ms. Jennifer Sutton presenting.
Good evening, President Overfeld, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. I come to you this evening asking for your consideration to approve the adjunct faculty agreement between us and our 4-H Extension Educational Service. It is recommending that there are 2 faculty members through that extension service that will help us with our 4-H students who participate in those extracurricular activities. And so this agreement will allow those 2 faculty members to allow our students, when they participate, for them to be counted as in attendance.
Thank you. This is basically every year, this comes to us because students are involved in 4-H and the different programs, especially with the stock shows that rolls around in January. So just a yearly thing. Your recommendation, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It is a recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees recognize the above-listed county extension agents as adjunct staff members and to count students participating in the 4-H extension education activities as in attendance for foundational school program purposes. It is also requested that Dr. Carlos Rios, Superintendent of Schools, and the San Felipe Del Rio CISD School Board President sign the adjunct faculty agreement and the resolution regarding extracurricular status of our 4-H organization as presented.
Thank you. For the recommendation, is there a motion to approve first by Mr. Almada, second by Ms. Chavez? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. It's been as long as, the question was how long we've been doing that. I know it goes back, I can say for at least through 2012 is my time on the board, so it's gone back further than that. I don't know how far back.
We may have skipped a couple of years, Mr. Overfelt, because I remember.
There were some issues with
Yeah.
this, why I was asking. I know
Yes.
when my kids were involved, there were some years that there were issues.
So
I'm glad we're doing it. I didn't, just wondered how long it'd been.
We've probably been doing it 6 years now.
6 years straight?
Yeah, at least, yeah.
Cool.
6 straight, but off and on longer than that.
Yeah. Item 12, technology and operations, nothing for that. Takes us to 13, business and finance. A, consideration to approve board resolution of San Felipe Del Rio CISD regarding district late start on July 16th, 2026. Ms. Amy Childress.
Good evening, President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. On July 16th, 2026, Del Rio experienced a significant amount of rainfall that was causing local flooding in the area. And so the district did issue a late start for that day. This resolution would be to pay employees that were still on contract and to report that, to pay them for the late start, and then those who were able to be at work available prior to our late start, they will be paid time and a half according to their contract.
Awesome, thank you. And I have the resolution here that we'll have our secretary sign once it's approved. So, any questions on the late start resolution recommendation?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the resolution regarding the district late start on July 16th, 2026 as presented.
Heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to approve? Ms. Webb, seconded by Mr. Weston. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
13B, consideration to ratify and approve a purchase order over $25,000 to Weaver Technologies in the amount not to exceed $34,000, coming out of our TIPS contract funding source 205 out of the Head Start grant for the purchase of desktop computers and software for Irene C. Cardwell Elementary staff. Ms. Childress.
Good evening. This is to ratify and approve a purchase order through our Head Start funds. They have remaining funds in their grant, and due to the deadline to use those funds, they purchased 22 staff computers, so we went ahead and allowed that purchase prior to approval of the board meeting. So at this time, we would just like to ratify and approve that purchase order.
Any questions on ratification of the purchase order? Mr. Almaraz?
How many computers are we getting?
22.
22.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
cool. Thanks.
Okay. Recommendation, ma'am?
It is the recommendation.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ms.
Just
Chavez.
on the desktop computers, is this to replace other computers or as needed more computers, desktop computers?
No, ma'am, we're not adding computers. This is for staff, so we're just replacing them.
Just replacing.
Yeah.
For what, I'm sorry?
We're just replacing that Cardwell.
Okay, thank you.
Was Dr. Talamantes present today?
Yes. She is.
Is there anything that you could clarify about these computers, ma'am? Can you please approach the podium? Specifically, Ms. Talamantes, she was asking if these were additional computers or we're just replacing older computers.
We're replacing older computers for all of our teachers.
Okay.
And we're using our Head Start funds and our TTA money that we had in reserve money for our teachers to get.
Okay, so instead of returning, you're replacing?
Yes, we're replacing them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Good. Recommendation, please?
Sure. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees ratify and approve a purchase order over $25,000 to Weaver Technologies in the amount of $34,000 to purchase desktop computers and software for Irene C. Cardwell Elementary.
Further recommendation, is there a motion to approve? Ms. Webb, seconded by Mr. Amadas. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
Item C, 13C, consideration to ratify and approve purchase order over $25,000 to Marching Auxiliaries Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $25,995. Funding source 865, student activity for the Queen City Bells for the participation of the Delray High School Queen City Bells program at San Antonio Hyatt Hill Country Dance Camp. Ms. Childress.
Yes, sir. Good evening once again. This is we're asking for approval to ratify. This is a purchase order. This is coming out of the Bells, their student activity account. It was money they contributed to attend this camp. The camp started this weekend, I believe today actually. So we needed to provide them a check last week. It is funds again that they raised. So we provided a check, and so we're asking to ratify the purchase order at this time.
Any comments or questions on the ratification? No. Recommendation, please.
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees ratify and approve a purchase order over $25,000 with Marching Auxiliaries Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $25,995 for the participation of the Del Rio High School Queen City Bells program at San Antonio Hyatt Hill Country Dance Camp.
Heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to approve? Mr. Galindo, seconded by Mr. Amadas. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
13D, consideration to approve signatories at Texas Community Bank to be the superintendent and chief financial officer. Mr. Gilbert Sanchez.
Yes, good evening once again, President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. Due to the change in the Chief Financial Officer position, I am bringing this item before the board for approval to update the authorized signatories for our Texas Community Bank accounts. This action will add me as an authorized signatory and remove Ms. Amy Childress. Changes to the authorized bank signatories do require board approval.
Any questions on the item for signatures? Recommendation, sir?
Yes, sir. It is a recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the signatories at Texas Community Bank to be the superintendent of schools and the chief financial officer effective to be determined. The date will be determined. We still got to get with the bank and get all the forms and stuff from them.
It'll be immediate, within the week.
Okay, so within the week. Okay.
Yes.
Further recommendation, is there a motion to approve? Ms. Chavez, seconded by Ms. Haynes. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Item 13F, consideration to approve a resolution to designate authorized representatives in the Tex Pool Prime, and First Public Lone Star Investment Pool. Mr. Sanchez.
Yes, sir. Good evening once again. This resolution is authorizing the superintendent and the CFO to negotiate and execute any and all contracts for the purpose of investing. Again, we are updating the name under the CFO to myself and removing Ms. Childress.
Any questions on this item for the update? Recommendation, sir?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the resolution to designate authorized representatives for investing as presented under separate cover, and authorize the Board President and Board Secretary to sign the resolution.
Thank you, sir. For the recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Ms. Webb, seconded by Mr. Galindo. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Again, for the record, we took care of item 13G earlier. We move into 14, Human Resources. 14A, consideration to approve the 3 instructional coach positions with the Curriculum and Instruction Department. Ms. Amy Childress.
Good evening, President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. At this time, we are asking for the consideration to approve the addition of 3 instructional coach positions with the Curriculum and Instruction Department. These will be funded out of Fund 255, Title II, Part A funding, not general funds.
Any questions from board members on the 3 instructional coach positions being added? Dr. Rios, would you like to kind of give the overview as to why?
Yes, Mr. Mesa, I'm sorry, I apologize, sir.
It's okay.
President Overfelt, members of the board. Tomorrow, we will receive the final scores from the Texas Education Agency for our state assessments. We anticipate that 3 elementary schools will be in need of additional support, academic support, to help improve our student learning. Therefore, in anticipation of those results, we are asking you to approve 3 instructional coaches. We have not determined the scope of the work. We will bring a job description to you, but they will work primarily to improve the writing at 3 campuses. We are selecting individuals who scored high on, whose students scored high in writing. Okay, I have asked Ms. Sutton to interview individuals for that position and select individuals who had good writing scores. It will be 1 for Chavira Elementary, 1 for Lamar Elementary, and 1 for Calderon Elementary. If time permits and there's other supports that they can provide to individual teachers who may be in need of development, then Ms. Sutton would handle that, but primarily they would be housed at those campuses.
Okay, thank you. So extending out from that, you mentioned that the individuals, some individuals have been asked who have had high success rates with STAR and stuff like that. So it'll be, we're looking for highly effective teachers within the district to be these instructional coaches, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when the district gets those campuses back on target and they've shown those gains, will those individuals, we'll be able to transition them back into the classroom? Because we're effectively going to take them out of the class, or are they going to, yeah, because we're effectively going to take them out of the classroom for the next couple of years.
Yeah, Mr. President Overfelt, we expect for the instructional coaches to have an immediate effect on the writing improvement for the teachers that they're going to work with. However, we have to understand that the gaps in learning are gaps that continue to regenerate themselves. And we have to expect that the new generation of students that come in will need development in the areas. So while I hope that there would not be a need and that we could put them back in the classroom, we do have to accept that this isn't a one-year fix. It's 1, 2, and 3, but absolutely, as soon as we can solve those issues, if we can get them back into a classroom, we want to do so. We do anticipate that they will be able to affect multiple teachers at the campus in a positive way. So even though they themselves aren't going to be getting those high results from students, we anticipate that they will support other teachers in those high results.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions, Mr. Amadas?
The instructional coach positions, where would they fall under what administrative pay plan, or stay in the teacher pay plan? Or
They are going to be teacher-paid positions. However, and I think Amy will bring this up later on in the meeting. However, because we're giving them teacher-paid positions, we need to incentivize them to move out of the teacher role for the time being. This means that they will not qualify for their TIA that they've already earned. So we are going to bring an agenda item under the pay plan to provide for them that stipend that they would have already earned as a teacher. So now it's a stipend as a coach.
And if the need is no longer there, hopefully our kids are doing amazing with test scores and such. When we move them back to say teacher position, then what happens with their stipend? I mean, I don't want to see them get a pay cut either after they've been doing great in the classroom, and they go become an instructional coach and they lose that stipend getting back in the classroom.
Well, there's a lot that's going to happen between now and then. For example, we have the enhanced TIA portion, which is going to affect the teacher stipends. And within that, I'm certain that we could do a transition plan for these teachers to maintain their stipend until they have a chance to earn it again in some transition format. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to make sure they don't take a pay cut.
Other questions? On this side, Mr. Galindo?
Dr. Rosen, for the coaching positions, if the board approves tonight, wouldn't you looking to try to roll it out? Are we trying to have it by next 2 or 3 weeks, or do we have to wait for the job description to come back, and then it's going to put us back another month? Or what's the outlook to get them into the classroom to start making an impact, hopefully soon?
Because they're teaching positions, the superintendent has the blessing of the board, the authority under board policy to make transfers. So transfer from positions, so that will not have to come to the board for approval. We'll inform the board,
okay.
But policy DK local will allow the superintendent to make that reassignment.
Thank you, sir.
So,
Ms. Chavez?
yes, with the students, will they be monitored all throughout until they're up to par, or how is that going to work?
Yes, ma'am. There's a whole lot that's been planned over the summer to be able to monitor the students.
And how are they going to monitor?
To be able to be
How will
support.
they be-
However, this position is about supporting teachers. Obviously, within the support of the teachers, it'll be providing appropriate feedback to the students and coaching the students. Now, in terms of how we monitor the students, we are going, I sent a board update about monitoring a certain group of students receiving special services and the support that we're providing them as well. So we have different tiers of support. We talked earlier at Cabinet today, and I asked that in every meeting that comes up that we talk about our strategic plan, and one of the components involves student achievement. So perhaps we can, Ms. Villarreal, I know I asked you a certain order, but perhaps for the month of August, we can begin with the academic achievement, so we can talk specifically about student supports and monitoring. Would that work, ma'am?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we were gonna do that second or third, we'll do that first in August, if it's okay with the board president.
Any other questions? Recommendation?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve 3 instructional coach positions with the Curriculum and Instruction Department.
Heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to accept? Mr. Galindo, seconded by Ms. Chavez. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
That takes us to 14B, consideration to approve food service cooks for 1 at Ruben Chavita Elementary, 1 at Delaware Middle School, 1 at Delaware High School, and 1 food service worker for Dr. Lonnie Green Elementary. Ms. Childress.
Good evening once again. We conducted a food service worker ratio study. We compared the number of food service cooks and workers we had at each campus based on the average number of lunch meals they provide. And we did a study to make sure that we were adequately staffed. And based on that study that we did, it showed that we needed to add the 3 cooks and 1 worker. And we would like to ask for approval at this time.
Any questions on this item?
Much needed.
And we thank administration and the business side of the house for listening to and taking feedback from food service and the workers to address ultimately what's happening right now. Recommendation, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve 3 food service cooks and 1 food service worker at multiple locations.
Heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to approve? Ms. Chavez, seconded by Mr. Alvarez. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
14C, consideration to approve 3 campus security screener positions with the San Felipe Del Rio CISD Police Department. Ms. Childress?
Good evening once again. At this time, we are asking for consideration to add 3 campus security screener positions to the district. These will be funded out of one of our grant funds, Fund 211, under the safety area.
Thank you. Dr. Rios, perhaps a kind of a brief overview as to what these individuals will do?
Yes, sir. Board President Overfelt, this last year we implemented metal detectors at the high school. And as happy as we are with the added feature, it is labor intensive. And not only is it labor intensive, we are competing with a whole lot of agencies to retain our police officers to operate the metal detectors rather than count on police officers to operate them or maybe staff who's already supervising other parts of the campus. We want to hire security monitors to operate the or man the metal detectors, and then throughout the day we'll have other uses for them. For example, the guard shack at the parking lot at the high school.
Okay, so these three individuals will be stationed exclusively at high school, or are we going to 2 at high school, 1 at ECHS, or 1 at freshman, or?
I asked Mr. Barrera to conduct that study and work, and 3 is not enough, and no, they're not all at the high school, and Ms. Salas is looking at me. We have to determine the number of police officers that we have available before we make the final assignment. But at this time, I believe that it is 2 for high school and 1 for the freshman campus.
Okay. Awesome. Any other questions on the screening, Mr. Galindo?
As far as the security screeners go, and I'm more than sure that Chief Oz will take care of this, but as far as training, to look into making sure, searching, if they find an item, what they would do and follow those protocols, and seeing we're coming up close to the first day. What is that gonna look like? And then making sure that, we do thoroughly look at who's gonna be a security screener, because it is essentially your gateway into the school. And so just kind of an aspect of thought into that. What is that looking like? Sure, they're gonna go through training with Chief Oz. Is he gonna maybe shadow them, or how's that gonna work?
Yes, sir. The chief of police is responsible for training not only our crossing guards, our police staff. He too will be responsible for the initial training of the security monitors, screeners. Okay. The chief is here if you want to ask him about the specific training, or if you just want an update on what it would look like on the board update.
We could just do on the board update, or speaking with Chief, just want to make sure that's known out there to just, we want to get good people to be making sure. I know we have here that we want experience in security, law enforcement, military corrections, and so forth. So glad y'all have that in there, but just that reassurance that, searches are conducted thoroughly and effectively and so forth like that before, moving forward.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Recommendation?
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve 3 campus security screener positions with SFDR CISD Police Department.
Heard the recommendation, is there a motion to approve? Ms. Webb, followed by Ms. Haynes. Seconded by Ms. Haynes. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 14D, consideration to approve an operations director secretary position with the operations department. Ms. Childress.
Good evening once again. Yes, at this time, we're asking for your consideration to add an additional FTE that will, for an operations director secretary position.
Thank you. I know I asked about it. Does anyone need an explanation or anything? Okay. Just for transparency's sake, Dr. Rios, could we?
Yes, sir. We've moved around the staff. For example, the CNI department is now at the Del Rio Middle School, the vacant wing there. We had to reassign secretaries. The secretary that was in the operations department, because Ms. Sandra Hernandez was there, was a cabinet level secretary at a certain pay grade. So when we moved CNI away from the building, we moved the secretaries so that cabinet level positions would have cabinet level secretaries. And we also hired the deputy superintendent for business services, and we also added one cabinet position. So we were short a secretary. Mr. Barrera already didn't have a secretary, and now we added one more position. So now we're really short on secretaries. We thank, I can't remember Maria's last name, but she's been, Flores, she's been helping out from a distance for Mr. Chapa, but Mr. Chapa's office is very busy, so we need to have somebody there. So that's why.
Okay. Thank you. Recommendation?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve 1 operations director secretary position with the operations department.
Thank you for the recommendation. Is there a motion to approve? First by Mr. Weston, second by Mr. Almaraz. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 14E, consideration to approve the conversion of assistant principal intern to high school vice principal. Ms. Amy Childress.
Good evening once again. At this time, administration is asking for your consideration to approve the conversion of the assistant principal intern position to the high school vice principal position.
Thank you. I know we've had the discussion, all of us at one point or time with the superintendent about this conversion over. So I know we are aware of it. For transparency's sake, Dr. Rios, a 30-second overview.
Yes, sir. We converted the position at the high school from the administrative assistant to an intern position, just in hopes of recruiting additional administrators replacement administrators at the high school. And we had not had the luck we wanted to have. However, after doing some brainstorming, we have come up with a solution to create a vice principal position at the high school. And we're asking that the board convert it back to an administrative position and elevate it to vice principal job so that we can move forward.
Thank you. Anyone have any other questions on that one? No. Recommendation, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the conversion of the assistant principal intern to high school vice principal.
Thank you for the recommendation. Is there a motion to accept? Ms. Webb, seconded by Mr. Weston. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Item F, consideration to approve 6 excess teacher positions at the campus to be determined. Ms. Childress, Dr. Rios, excuse me.
If I can, just for clarifications, we received preliminary scores for STAR. And just like we anticipate 3 elementary campuses to need assistance moving forward, we have also identified that students served in the middle school co-teach program had a high failure rate. In other words, they did not meet the standard. So then we evaluated how the co-teach services were being presented. Unfortunately, it was high numbers in the classroom and teachers having to work with multiple teachers, whether it be in math or reading across different grade levels. To be able to support students in the co-teach department or in the co-teach program, we need to provide human resources so that we have one teacher, content teacher, planning with one co-teach teacher, understanding the students they serve, plan on how they serve the students, and implement good instructional practices, particularly the students' modifications or assistance in the learning process. When we looked at numbers, we needed 6 teachers. We had 1 excess teacher that we already assigned to Del Rio Middle School. So now, but Del Rio Middle School still needs 1 more, and then Garfield needs 2, and so does San Felipe Memorial. But we're asking for 6 teachers because the class counts at one of our middle schools are much higher than the other ones because they have a higher enrollment. So then the 6th teacher is to provide either a science or social studies teacher to Del Rio Middle School, because I believe their enrollment is approximately 100 students more than the other middle schools. It might be a little higher, but that's the purpose of it. Okay.
Thank you. Any questions? Recommendation, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve 6 excess teacher positions at campuses to be determined.
You've heard the recommendation. I so move. Is there a second? Mr. Amadas. Seconds. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Item 14G, discussion and possible action to approve the employee job descriptions and evaluation forms. Ms. Childress?
Good evening once again. This evening, we are bringing forward to you multiple job description updates and changes. Before you, we have new job positions, descriptions and evaluations for a CT health science teacher / clinical site instructor, and the campus security screeners, and the operations director secretary. We also have updates to the computer technician job descriptions, the help desk technician, the instructional aide for Head Start Pre-K, and the instructional coach, as well as a title change to the CTE vice principal job description, and the conversion, for the high school vice principal.
Thank you. Any questions on any of the descriptions or evaluation forms that were included in the board packet? Recommendation, ma'am?
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve the employee job descriptions and evaluation forms as discussed.
Further recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Mr. Galindo, seconded by Ms. Webb. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
14H, consideration to approve the 26-27 T-test appraisal calendar. Ms. Childress?
Yes, good evening once again. Before you is the 2026-2027 T-test appraisal calendar, and we are just asking for your approval this evening.
Any questions on the T-test calendar? Recommendation?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the 2026-2027 T-test appraisal calendar.
Heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to approve? Ms. Haynes, seconded by Mr. Weston. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Nothing under 15 and 16, student services and security. That takes us to item, I'm sorry, I crossed it off on my list prematurely. 14I, consideration to approve the updated 26-27 district compensation plans. Ms. Childress?
Good evening, President Overfelt, Dr. Rios, and members of the board. This evening, we have a couple changes to our compensation plan. We will begin, it's on page 376, with our teacher pay plan. So the only thing that we're updating there is we are listing the other job titles that are part of the teacher pay plan, just so you'll know which positions are covered under this pay plan. Then on page 379, under the administrative professional pay plan, on pay grade 5, we are removing the ECHS and CTE assistant principal. The ECHS assistant principal was put there by, that position was put there by mistake on the plan. The CTE position, we are moving to the pay grade 6 under CTE vice principal. We're also adding the pay grade 5, the position of curriculum coordinator that was previously on the compensation plan, removed, and now we're adding it back in anticipation of I believe we'll have a vacancy that we'll be posting for that. Also on pay grade 6, we are removing the curriculum and instructor director position. That position was removed during the budget process, so we're removing that from the plan. And we are adding the high school vice principal. Then on page 382, under their paraprofessional plan, under pay grade 3, we are removing the human resources clerk. Again, that position was removed during the budget process, and so we're removing that from the comp plan. And under pay grade 4, we are adding the secretary for the director of operations. Then on page 386, under the auxiliary pay plan, on pay grade 4, that is where we are adding the campus security screeners. And then on page 388, under the teacher stipends, that is where we are adding the instructional coach stipend that was mentioned earlier. And that will be equivalent to a TIA master's designation stipend based on the campus that they are assigned to. So it will vary.
Mr. Overfelt.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Galindo reminded me of a point. In the packet, we had listed the high school vice principal as 220. On the handout that you got,
Yes, I'm sorry.
it's 226. It's just a correction.
Any other questions? recommendation, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the updated 2026-2027 district compensation plans as presented.
For the recommendation, is there a motion to accept or approve? Mr. Almaraz, seconded by myself. All those in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
Now we're item 17,
If
closed
I-
session.
If I may, I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe we skipped an item
Lord.
under Business and Finance, 13F.
Sorry, Mr. Overfelt.
13F.
Yeah, while we're in a closed session, we'll have them review the video. We're pretty sure that we missed it, but let's just review the video, and then will be the first item that we do when we come back in open session. Is that okay? Just to verify. The two items are very similar. They have to do with investment, and that's probably why it was skipped. But let's review
Well-
the video, okay? Unless you're sure we missed it, and then we can go.
No, I remember calling out, so 13F, consideration to approve resolutions to designate authorized representatives in text pool, text prime, that one there? I remember calling that out, and Mr. Sanchez presenting on it and calling a vote, but if y'all want to double check the recording, that's fine by me.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because I know the resolutions were up here, that's fine by me,
All right, thank you.
not a problem. Now we're going to closed session in 17 lot items tonight pursuant to 551.074 personnel matters and 551.071 consultations with attorney. Discussion and possible action to approve personnel report for new hires, district vacancies, position of assistant principal at several campuses to be determined, position of counselor at Del Rio High, educational diagnostician, art facilitator, speech language pathologist, federal and state program coordinator, reorganization of district administration, possible discussion and possible action for salary adjustments, and pursuant to 551.072, deliberation regarding real property, discussion regarding exchange of district property for future educational use. All actions and votes, or all votes will be taken in open session. It is now 7:37 PM. We are in closed session. Good evening. It is now 8:48. We were out of closed session and back into open session. No action was taken. As was mentioned earlier, before going into closed session, there was some confusion over exactly how some items got recommended. So we're going to go back to 13E and 13F and take those individually again. 13E, consideration to approve the resolution to designate the authorized representative for investing. Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, sir. Good evening, once again, President Overfero.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Just
The recommend.
Just for some semblance of adherence to Robert's Rules of Order, can we just have a motion and a second to reconsider items E and F?
Sure thing. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to reconsider items 13E and 13F. Per Robert's Rules of Order. So we have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Haynes, second. All in favor? Thank you, unanimous. So we will come back to 13E, consideration to approve the resolution to designate an authorized representative for investing. Mr. Sanchez.
Yes, sir. Good evening, once again, President Overfeld, Dr. Rios, members of the board. I know there's a little confusion between these items, and they're very similar. But this one is for authorizing representatives for investing. The resolution is to authorize the superintendent and the CFO to negotiate and execute any and all contracts for the purpose of investing. Again, we are updating the name under the CFO to myself and removing Ms. Childress.
Any questions on
No, sir.
13E recommendation, sir?
Yes. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the resolution to designate authorized representatives for investing as presented under separate cover and authorize the Board President and Board Secretary to sign the resolution.
For the recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Ms. Webb, seconded by Ms. Haynes. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. 13F, consideration to approve resolutions to designate authorized representatives in Tex Pool Prime, and First Public Lone Star Investment Pool. Mr. Sanchez.
Yes, sir. Good evening again. Again, this resolution, anytime we're making any changes to the authorized signatures or authorized representatives, we need to bring it up to the board. These are two separate pools. One is the Tex Pool, and the other one is called the Lone Star Pool. Under the Tex Pool, we will have Dr. Rios, Amy Childress, myself, and Alejandra Villarreal, our comptroller, as authorized representatives. We will also have Ms. Araceli Corretz as our accounting assistant, who will only have inquiry of selected information. As for our other pool, which is Lone Star, we will have the following authorized representatives, which is Dr. Rios, myself, and Ms. Alejandra Villarreal. Again, anytime there is update to the authorized representatives, we need a resolution and a board approval to make the updates.
Okay. Any questions on that item? Recommendation, sir?
Yes, sir. It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the resolution to designate authorized representatives as presented under separate cover and authorize the board president and board secretary to sign.
Thank you for the recommendation. Is there a motion to accept? Ms. Webb, followed by Mr. Galindo. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for allowing us to clear that up. That brings us back to 18A. Again, back into, under the open session part of it. As was mentioned earlier, no action was taken in closed session. 18A, consideration to approve the personnel report to include the following: new hires and district vacancies, retirements, and resignations. Ms. Childers?
Good evening. It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve the resignations, retirements, vacancies, and new teaching personnel as discussed in closed session.
For the recommendation, I so move. Is there a second? Ms. Haynes? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
18B, consideration.
We will table 18B and 18C, sir.
We're going to table 18B and C. If I can just get, just to make sure we're legal, if I can just get a first and a second to table that.
Motion.
Mr. Galindo, seconded by Mr. Almaraz. All in favor of tabling item B and C? Unanimous, thank you. Item 18D, consideration to approve the position of counselor at Delaware High School. Ms. Childress?
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Amy Castillo for counselor at Del Rio High School.
For the recommendation, is there a motion to approve? Ms. Chavez, seconded by Mr. Weston. All in favor? Thank you. E, consideration to approve the position of educational diagnostician with the Special Education Department. Ms. Childress?
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Gina Jurado for educational diagnostician with the Special Education Department.
For the recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Mr. Galindo, seconded by Ms. Webb. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Item 18F, consideration to approve the position of art facilitator at Del Rio High School. Ms. Childress?
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Cynthia Ramon for art facilitator at Del Rio freshman.
Okay, so it's going to be Delaware Freshman and not Delaware High School,
Oh, I'm sorry.
as we have on our list?
Yeah, that's what I have in the new addendum they gave me today. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Let's just go with the agenda.
Kim, okay.
And then we can make reassignments as necessary. The
Okay.
high school freshmen, they're all
Del Rio.
under the same campus anyway.
Okay.
They're all under the
So
same
Del Rio High
TIA
School.
number.
Okay, then if I could just have the recommendation as Delaware High.
Yeah.
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Cynthia Ramon for art facilitator at Del Rio High School.
Thank you, ma'am. Further recommendations or a motion to accept? Ms. Chavez, seconded by Mr. Weston. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
Item G, consideration to approve position of speech language pathologist with the Special Education Department. Ms. Childress?
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Kyla Contreras for speech language pathologist with the Special Education Department.
Further recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Ms. Haynes, seconded by myself. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Item H, consideration to approve the position of federal and state programs coordinator. Ms. Childress?
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve Brenda Flores Leon for the Federal and State Grant Programs Coordinator at the SPC.
Thank you. Further recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Mr. Weston, followed by Mr. Amaraz. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Item I, possible action regarding the reorganization of district administration. Dr. Rios?
President Overfelt, members of the board, we discussed in closed session the possible reassignment of administrators at schools to include Del Rio High School, Del Rio Freshman, San Felipe Memorial, Ceniza Hills, and Garfield Middle School. A reorganization to ensure that the vacancies are filled and that we can begin school as orderly with hopefully a lot of progress for our students. Is there any questions before I make the recommendation?
No, sir.
It is the recommendation of the administration that the Board of Trustees approve the reorganization of district administration as discussed in closed session.
Further recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Mr. Amaraz, seconded by Mr. Galindo. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Item 18J, consideration to approve the salary adjustments. Ms. Childress?
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve the salary adjustments as discussed in closed session.
Further recommendation, is there a motion to approve? Ms. Haynes, seconded by Ms. Webb. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
And lastly, item 18K, possible action regarding exchange of district property for future educational use. Ms. Childress?
It is the recommendation of administration that the Board of Trustees approve the property swap solicitation as discussed in closed session.
Further recommendation, is there a motion to accept? Mr. Galindo, seconded by Mr. Weston. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing under superintendent's report, which brings us to adjournment. We're getting ready to start the school year, so eager and ready to welcome everybody back. We'll see you at convocation and students here shortly coming back. So is there a motion to adjourn? Mr. Alvarez, seconded by Ms. Haynes. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. We are adjourned, 8:59 PM.